The hair looks silly, but I'm reacting to someone who has some pretty silly takes. Lucky Chappie with his views on the Kraber in Apex Legends.
What the fuck
Classic
has happened
intro.
to the Kraber in Apex Legends? Let me give you a
It's
bit of a
more balanced.
rundown on what the Kraber is and why
We're not. Nope. We're skipping that rundown. That rundown is actually boring and not for me.
Kraber gets nerfed. On paper, this didn't seem too bad, but in reality, it has completely ruined the Kraber and made it not only almost not worth picking up, but
It's a question for all the lovely viewers. A weapon that does 140 damage to the body and has the potential to one-shot enemies with a dome shot, and if nothing else, it does like I think a minimum of 189 damage to the head. Does that sound like a weapon that's almost not worth picking up? Or does that sound like a really good gun? A weapon that can one-shot Thirst from Narnia, which is actually insanely valuable, especially in ranked. Like, you secure KP that way. Like, that gun's pretty good. And in pubs, where the games usually end very quickly and most folks don't even get red armor, they don't get a good helmet, you're still going to one-shot people. Land your shots. Like, it's still a great gun. And this is coming from a player who is a resident sniper in Apex. I love the Sentinel. The Kraber's pretty fun. I like sniping, especially close-range sniping. But that's my current take on that. So I think the gun's still fun, too. And it's still really good. I'll still take it over almost every other gun in the game in most cases. It depends, but in most cases.
it just isn't fun anymore. And
How?
for me, that's the whole point of playing a game, especially one with mechanics as fun as Apex Legends.
He's not saying that Kraber's a mechanic, but let's talk about mechanics that were fun that have either been nerfed, gotten removed, or are on the chopping block to get nerfed and removed. So once they got removed, B-hop healing. That was a fun mechanic that most players, like a lot of players that could do it would be like, that was fun. Why remove it, right? But it got removed because balance is important in Apex. That's why it got removed. Then you have tap strafing, which I'm pretty sure is on the chopping block to get removed. Like that thing is stanging, and it's getting real close to being on that freaking wood cutting board and getting hit by a machete. Like it's close. And then you have zipline jumping, which has been nerfed. You used to be able to zipline jump infinitely. That got nerfed because balance. You need balance in games like this. You also need counterplay. And a lot of these things see nerfs because there isn't much viable counterplay. Although for tap strafing, there's counterplay. It's called, one-clipping people.
Why in the fuck has the Kraber not been reverted back to the way it was?
Still insane.
But Deppy, it makes sense. It was broken.
One thing out of many things that people do not realize the importance of is counterplay. The Kraber before had no counterplay whatsoever. You get headshot, you're out the game. You're knocked. Nice. Have fun being on the ground and reconsidering what you could have done. Oh, yeah, that's right. Nothing. Whereas now, you have counterplay. You can make a purple helmet in the crafter, get purple armor. Now you can't get one shot. But you still get hit for 189 to the freaking dome piece. Or 140 to the body. That's still so freaking good. Like, whenever a gun gets nerfed, and it's still insanely powerful, you know it's good. It's like the Valk nerfs, right? Anyone who complains about Valkyrie is smoked and dented because she's still good. She's still an S tier legend even after getting a nerf to every single factor in her kit. Like, realize how powerful that is. Realize the testament to how good that legend was, and to also, getting back on track here, how good the Kraber still is.
Cunt. Every care package weapon is broken. It's the...
What did you say? Sir, are we playing the same game here, brother? Because the Rampage blows, all right? The Rampage is so bad, it's actually hilarious. That gun, the hipfire is terrible. You get one thermite when you pick it up, which, like, charging it does not last very long. That's a gun that I don't pick up. Like, the Rampage was never broken. It was just annoying to play against. That's all it was. And now it's in the package, you don't play against it at all because everyone realizes that gun kind of sucks. I don't want it. And they don't pick it up. Like, sure, it could be fun for some shenanigans, but it's not a good gun. G7 Scout was kind of the same thing. It was better than the Rampage, but it wasn't broken. Now, the Mastiff, broken. The bow, in the current state, broken. But the Kraber, a gun that can one-shot to the head, that's just whenever it was like no counterplay whatsoever, that's a different level of broken. And that's definitely not fun for the opposing person who gets one-shot when they have red armor and purple helmets back before the changes. Like, talk about not fun, right?
The whole point of them. You can't tell me that getting a kraber, one of the most infamous weapons in Apex Legends, and hitting a 112 with it is okay. In what fucking world is it okay that the one staple...
In what world is it okay to hit 112 with a kraber? When you hit him in the freaking pinky toe, brother. Leg shots do less damage than body shots. Body shots do less damage than headshots, and headshots do less damage than back.
Gets nerfed to the point where the ground loot snipers are almost a better option, and in most situations will be the better option. So
what situations? And what situation is a gun that can do 140 to the body and or have the potential to one-shot somebody gonna be worse than a weapon that does like maximum of like 118 or I think it's like legit 112.
So for me, there's two solutions available. Revert the kraber back to what it was so that we can have this fun element back in the game, or start making balance changes between ranked and pubs separately. Because
that is the only good take I've ever heard from Chappie. Making it so you have different balance changes between ranked and pubs. Because right now you have ranked and then you have ranked with no reward, aka pubs. You have a mode where you can get a shiny badge, and then a mode that is the same thing basically, but there's no badge, right? One that has a lever penalty, and one where you only get levers. Like, I mean, I guess that right there, that's the separation, right? We did it, guys. They're different now. But in reality, pubs can and should be so much more fun. It is absolutely mental to me that the devs do not do a better job of making pubs more enjoyable. We need to just have more ways to come back into the game, to have more action, to have more battling and a battle royale. I think I made a video about it recently. But there's so many ways to make pubs more fun. But instead, you have you have two modes, ranked and pubs, that are so unfun for solo players. It's insane, especially at high levels. Diamond 4 solo players in ranked, you're facing pro 3 stacks in ranked that are pred. When you're playing pub solo, you're facing 3 stacks that might also be pred. Banners get camped in pubs. Like, there's so many bad feelings in pubs that just need to get alleviated, and the devs are not trying to do that from what it seems.
Because it is not fair for those of us who play the game for fun to have those really fun elements removed due to a bunch of people who will literally complain about anything.
Oh yeah. The pros are getting stuff removed. Oh, what was that? Doe talked about zipline jumps getting nerfed, B-hop healing getting removed, tap strafing almost getting removed. Yeah, it's just the pros. The pros definitely want those things removed.
What do you think of Respawn removing B-hop healing? I think that's a mistake and could potentially hurt their game a lot.
Yeah, this is where people are just smoked and dented. Like, it's so easy to make these echo chambers and not think about this stuff with any objectivity. Both audiences get catered to. It just so happens that with the recent changes, the pros did get listened to with like ranked. Pros got listened to for sure. But in many of the aspects, that's just the game devs, dog. And in reality, the game devs are the ones making the changes.
You could give these players a free fucking heirloom and they'd find a way to complain.
Not the heirloom,
Probably
man.
Something like, why didn't they get 2? Anyway.
Not the heirloom. We're getting the heirloom to freaking professional players who also are probably streamers that make like over $100,000 a year, if not way more. Huh. Yeah, they seriously are going to complain about an heirloom. That's for sure. Yeah. Now, I think in reality, like, Apex does need creator codes. Point blank period. Do it like the Epic Game Store. If you're like showing that you have like a desire to make Apex content, and you're showing that you do make Apex content, be able to apply for a creator code, and then your audience can use that code and actually support you. Like, that should happen, and that's like a random thing to bring up, but I'm just saying. What do you guys think about this guy's take on the kraber? Because me personally, the kraber is still bussin'. The gun's still good, and right now, it's balanced, because there's counterplay, but the gun can still one-shot. Like, that's a really smart way of balancing stuff, and mind you, it wasn't just the kraber that got nerfed. Every gun got nerfed, because helmets got buffed. Every single gun does less damage to the head now than it did before. It's not just kraber. Like, you don't see me making posts about the Sentinel doing less damage to the head, even though it does suck. But it is what it is. It's just the way the game, it's the way the cookie crumbles, the game changes, and players have to adapt in some cases. And this change, I think, just makes sense. Follow-up is the next day, hair is still scuffed, but I figured out where Chappie got the idea for that video, and this person is just as smoked. What was the point? Why was it nerfed? The kraber in this case. The kraber has been in the package since day one. The spawn rate for it was seemingly non-existent, although recently I got round 1 kraber. Nice. And given the bigger bullet drop and slower bullet speed, the one-shot headshot was absolutely a reward for skill with the gun. Still is. But now, it's useless. Cap. There's no point in taking it. Double cap. The only thing that's changed is the damage, so given the slow speed of the gun, getting a kill with it is essentially unheard of. What are you smoking? Like, what? A gun that does 140 to the body and minimum 189 to most legends. It's unheard of to get a kill with that gun? Okay. Previously, if you were killed by a kraber, it meant the person using it was good. They still are. Well, in most cases. And you were killed by a skilled player. Now if you get killed by a kraber, it's entirely on you for being an easy target. I don't think that that's true in most cases. If you get hit twice consecutively, you need to reassess because you managed to be slower than someone racking another bullet and firing it at you a second time. Do they not realize you can still one-shot with the kraber? It's still one-shot. And if you get hit by a kraber for 210 damage and I push up and then I hit you with one bullet, you die. Like, what? It's absolutely insane. The way these people try and like quantify situations based off just pure feeling and they don't bring any actual objectivity into the situation whatsoever is starting to get a little tiring. Plus, with the addition of buffed protective gear and legends with more health than God himself, nerfing the damage was really not necessary. Like 3 legends that have fortify, maybe 4. It's not a big deal. It's not fun to play against, I'll give you that, but it's not that big a deal. IMO, the kraber shouldn't have been touched. It was honestly perfect as it was. Seeing or hearing a kraber used to be like, uh-oh, better be careful, there's a kraber about. But now I see it in play and disregard it as just another sniper. Just my 2 cents. Another sniper, yeah. The gun that does the most damage per shot in the entire video game is just another sniper. A gun that can still one-shot, given the right circumstances, is just another sniper. The gun that does 140 to the body is just another sniper. This is why games do not really balance entirely around casual players, because they simply do not know what they're talking about. And this is ridiculous. Like, I get you want the kraber to be unnerfed, but you have to realize counterplay matters. And y'all don't. And it just leads to just confusion on many points. What's the first comment here? I feel like it's a guaranteed team 3-2-1 weapon or a great push tool if you manage to hit 2 of them. Yeah. What is team... Okay, wait. Why is... Everyone's repeating the same thing. Everyone is just repeating the same thing. 3-2-1, 3-2-1, 3-2-1. You can still one-shot with it, bro. What do you mean? People don't think for themselves. It's just 3-2-1. This is my problem, bro. I just don't get it. Anyway, that's the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.